Welcome to Lake Mary, Florida, where community runs deep, champions are raised, and legacy lives on through those who call it home. We're not just visiting today, though. This is where I also call home, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Behind me sits this beautiful, modern lakefront estate, but the story it tells is timeless. Built on land that was part of the original homestead in Lake Mary, its story goes all the way back to 1883. I'm SheenaTapia, and this is the American Dream. The Evans family, the original homesteaders, didn't just settle this land. They helped shape the future of Lake Mary. Frank Evans purchased this parcel of orange groves and cattle over a century ago. And later, he patented a khaki dye formula that was instrumental in World War I. The success from that formula helped fund the town's first school, its earliest roads, a local bank, and even a theater. The Evans homestead stood here for generations, and when today's homeowners stepped onto this property, they didn't just see the land, they felt its story. I'm so excited to go talk to the homeowners about the history of the land, the dream of building on this lake, and what it's really like to grow up in a town that breeds champions. What was it like when you first walked to this property and discovered its history?
It was a super cool experience. My wife called me and said there was a little over 2.5 acres for sale, and I was shocked by that alone. But when I came here and I called the realtor and I walked in the house for the first time, he had a credenza sitting there, and I noticed a pamphlet. I think it was a Lake Mary Life pamphlet, and it was dated back to 1903. It was incredible. And then underneath it was a newspaper article, I think from like 1898. So that started off the tour, and then we went walking around and ended up in his closet, and you could see his World War I and World War II uniforms hanging up. And it really just shows you the character and the type of man Mr. Evans was. And I was honored to be in the house alone, the old creaky wood floors and everything else. It just, not a history buff, but that hit me a different way. That was really cool.
So you grew up playing football and baseball here in Lake Mary. How did that experience shape you?
I did. It was an incredible experience. I started playing baseball when I was 4 and joined Pop Warner football when I was 7. And, you know, growing up playing sports, you know, when you have your dad and other dads coaching you, I mean, the lessons you learn from them, along with just learning how to be a teammate overall. I mean, learning that you have to be accountable, everybody has a role and responsibility. It translates into the real world, in my opinion, more than what you can learn, you know, studying books. You learn how to lose. You learn how to, you know, come back from those experiences and be better. There's a lesson in everything you do in sports, and I think that's the most incredible thing that you get, and the bond you have with your teammates, and just how it translates, you know, into life later when you get to the real world.
So Bobby, Lake Mary has so many success stories. What role do you think sports plays in that?
I think it plays a huge role. Like I said earlier, the lessons you learn through sports and how it translates to life, you know, it's just incredible the experience you have through sports. And Lake Mary is such a strong, supportive community. And you really see that time to time, and there's really on full display when we won the Little League World Series. I mean, what a cool experience for those kids in this community. You know, I went to the 4th Street Bar and Grill, and it was a packed house, like it was a national championship game. People screaming, yelling. The bar was giving out free drinks, you know, on hits and stuff. So, but again, I think, you know, those lessons that those kids learn through that experience, and the lessons you learn through any sports that you play and growing up, it just translates to life, and it gives you that desire and drive to win every day, and that can translate into the real world very easily.
Welcome to 4th Street Bar and Grill. Built in 2012, it was created to give Lake Mary something it didn't have, a place the entire community could come together, connect, and celebrate. From team dinners to post-game celebrations, this bar has become a living scrapbook of Lake Mary's sports legacy. Trophies line the walls, photos tell the stories. You feel community and legacy in the air. But the real magic? It's the support behind them. The coaches, the families, the neighbors. Everybody shows up. And tonight, we're joined by the very kids who just made history. What an incredible season. What was the best part?
Man, just taking the journey with the boys and the work that we put in to just get to where we were. And then once you get up to Williamsport, the way that the Little League does that, the way that they take care of the boys and those fields and the fans, it's just a wonderful place to be.
That's awesome. So Lake Mary continues to produce amazing athletes. What do you think contributes to that?
I think it's just the area and the complexes and facilities that we have to actually produce this talent and develop the talent. And I think these parents are just behind their children and they're helping them grow and learn the game and whatever sport that they love. But it's a great place to live and be. And like you said, the talent just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. From time-honored land to championship fields, Lake Mary, Florida is the kind of place where legacies live on, athletes rise, dreams take root, and families build the kind of life dreams are made of. I'm so proud to call it home, and even more proud to share it with you. I'm SheenaTapia, and this is the American Dream!